The List Game is a conversational improv game. We discuss a hypothetical situation, and our cast has drawn a series of phrases from the chicken hat. Their goal is to slip those phrases into the conversation. Every time they do successfully, they get a point. If someone says, "Hey, that's on your list," and catches them, then they get that point. You can also bluff, making up your own. And if someone calls you, you get a bluff point. Do you tip your waiters, waitresses, bartenders? How about tip your podcasters? We need some help with this. Please go to patreon.com/listgame and give us $1 a month. It adds up to about 25 cents an episode. Contact us at listgame@cox.net, COX. Our Twitter is @thelistgame.
Let me just button my buttons.
The Cockney version.
I muddle my
of-
T's.
Oh,
Why is
I
that
see you
bad?
muddle your teeth a
muddle
little bit.
your teeth.
You can't muddle your teeth a little bit, Liebchen. And otherwise we can't understand what you say.
I can't control it. It just happens.
That's what she said.
I can control it on stage. It's weird that when I'm acting on stage, I don't muddle my teeth. It's true.
And it's time to shut up. Welcome to episode number 41 of The List Game. Normally sitting to my left is the philosophistic Rod Diaz, but I have a sad yet happy for some story to tell. You see, it was his turn to feed Dean, and he opened the gimp room that's under the
And
couch
I
here.
murdered him.
And yeah, well,
No,
Dean got him in a good headlock and pulled him in there and threw Rod down in the gimp room, and then Dean got out. So now Rod's in the gimp room.
He can keep Sam company.
Some good shit to say today. We had a different topic we were gonna do, but it's one that's Rod's actual topic, so we're gonna save that one. And we just decided today we're going to talk about the whole world of comic books and comic book heroes and comic book movies and comic book toilet paper and all that good stuff. I will go around the room. In Rod's normal chair is the not-so-philosophistic Kathy Lieberman.
That's me.
Sullying his memory.
Filling up the big leather chair. He lost a little weight while he was down there, though. We didn't feed him much. It's J. Dean Garcia.
Hey, glad to be back.
We threw pizza crusts down there.
We're giving the new guy one more try. We're going to see if this guy gets to stick around.
You better win this one or you're out.
It's Joey McBlowy. How do you say your last name, Joey?
Ochoa.
Ochoa! Gesundheit. The man with the toast of most, the voice that's moist, Mr. Blake Benlin.
I am full hard right now.
This should not expand, Dong, but it does.
Are my pants getting tighter? Whoa.
All right, you guys. Once again, we're going to talk about... Now, we were talking a little about the Roadrunner and the Coyote. I'm sure they had some comic books
Yeah,
out
the Looney
there
Tunes had
somewhere.
a lot of comic books.
Let's talk about some Looney Tunes comics for a minute. After I burp. Did Foghorn Leghorn ever appear in a comic book? Oh, sorry.
Actually, yes. And actually, the most recent Looney Tunes comic I read, not watched, was the DC Looney Tunes crossover, where DC characters interacted with Looney Tune characters. Yeah, it was
So,
Wonder
like,
Woman
Batman
and...
talks to Foghorn Leghorn.
No, it was Batman,
So you're a chicken.
and I believe it was Batman and...
No, it was Harley
what's-
Quinn, because Harley Quinn loves a big cock.
What's his name? You know, he's hunting wabbits.
Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd. Yeah, it was Elmer Fudd and Batman, Wonder Woman and the Tasmanian Devil, Martian Manhunter and the Martian. What was his name?
Marvin?
Marvin the Martian. That should have been easy to remember. And I think Foghorn Leghorn appeared in the one with Elmer Fudd and Batman. It was a really weird comic because they did it in the DC drawing style, so it was like it was
Was
it
Foghorn
was
Leghorn all
realistic
muscular?
looking. No, he just looked like a normal person, but
That would have been great if they got the guy that drew the Frank Miller Batman stuff to draw the Looney Tunes people.
Okay, so
That would be
I have
one
a
mean looking
question.
Foghorn Leghorn.
I have a question in the back of my head. Who would have won, the Roadrunner or the Flash?
it's a good question.
That's a good question.
Well, the Roadrunner can totally alter reality and bend it to his will.
And so
Yeah,
can
the Flash
kind of
would
the
have
Flash, right?
inevitably the Flash would have resorted to some Acme product in an attempt to cheat, which would have proceeded to backfire on him.
Wally
Like
West.
he,
Yeah, the Roadrunner's
like he
a lot
paints
smarter.
he paints a fake tunnel on a brick wall.
But the Roadrunner would have been able to-
goes through it. And then
goes,
he's like, "What?" And then he tries to proceed through the tunnel and just hits his face on the wall.
Well, he can go through walls, the Flash.
And then he becomes an
No.
accordion.
yeah, he can vibrate his molecules so
but
fast.
he has
that
to
can
know it's a
phase
wall
through walls.
before he's going to go
Yeah,
through
the
it.
That's
Flash,
true.
Flash
Yeah.
is not that smart. Flash is not that smart. The Roadrunner is really smart.
Okay, well, Barry
after-
Allen is a
and
medical
after,
examiner, so
Barry Allen? Who's that?
the Flash.
The Flash
Oh.
is
Barry Manilow.
secret identity.
Barry Manilow.
And you see,
Yeah.
after the Flash
If it was
hits
Wally
the
West
wall,
Flash, then he would
becomes
hit a wall.
a literal accordion. You know, like in the cartoons.
So we're not talking about
maybe there are
Barry
some
Manilow
stars and
in a
birds
trench
flying
coat.
around his
We're
head.
talking about somebody who runs fast, right?
The Flash would look down and realize he was over a cliff, and then he goes, "Oh well," and then drop all the way down.
Well, first he'd hold up a sign
Funny,
that says "Yikes."
Sonic the Hedgehog did that in one of the Sonic X cartoons, too.
Oh God! Oh man, flashbacks. Those were bad cartoons.
Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
Anything with Sonic the Hedgehog, I feel like they're trying too hard.
Ugh.
Well, Sonic was always trying really hard.
That's true.
What, don't you like chili dogs?
Like even the most recent games is like, just stop. You were good. You're good for nostalgia, but then
Yeah,
just stop.
Wait, the thing with the Roadrunner and the Flash, is there a cartoon comic book speed limit? You know, you went too fast, you're out of the book.
Well,
man.
no, because I mean, you've heard of the shit that Superman does. You know, he flies across like multiple galaxies in like a nanosecond. So
No, he just flies around the world really fast and turns back time.
Well, when he goes through galaxies, it's because he was going in a straight line and he was just kind of cruising at a pretty fast speed, and he farted, and then he just jettisons him because he's Superman. He's got super farts. They're like super jet propulsion.
The fastest, the Flash, and this is Wally West Flash, not Barry Allen Flash. He went from one side of the universe to the other in a mere nanosecond, and it was basically faster than
I have to
instant
call
teleportation.
bullshit on this because the universe doesn't have sides. It
Well,
just
yeah.
keeps going, man.
I think the Roadrunner would still kick his ass.
And if the universe did have sides, it wouldn't have two sides. It would have 8. It would be like a big 8-sided dice.
True. Well, it was from wherever he was in the universe.
Yeah, it's all
To Earth.
relative. Yeah, it's relative. And where did nanoseconds? Is this like written down a nanosecond?
Well, it was like
Someone wrote down he got to
Whatever
one
it
part of the
was,
universe
It's like
to
a
another
billionth
in
of a second.
a
whatever
nan-
it was,
10
it was
times
faster than
10 to
instant
the minus
teleportation.
9. Okay.
Was what it was.
It was faster than teleportation,
Yeah.
which would be the speed of light.
Yeah, well, the thing with
Actually, teleportation can go pretty slow, and Star Trek did have comic books. But the original Star Trek,
We're going to Warp 19, Captain.
when you teleported, it took a good like 12 seconds on some episodes.
yeah,
You'd see him go.
I feel like that would hurt.
And then they go
I
to the
feel like
ship and you see it go-
teleporting would hurt, right?
No, well, it hurts when you get dissolved on the
Oh,
Star
I would have been the dick
So
on
yeah,
the,
it hurts.
I would have been the dick on the Enterprise while they're coming in. I'm throwing pencils in there. I want this pencil to form right in your gut.
They come out
fucked
with
up.
a pencil embedded in their forehead.
Very funny, Scotty. Now get me to sick bay.
So what did Stan Lee die of? Exactly.
I'm not 100% sure, but
Did
I'm
he
gonna
blow his brains out?
I'm gonna
Ink
guess
poisoning.
ink poisoning or
He
old
ate one
age.
too many comic books.
mean, we have the internet. We could look it up right now if we wanted
Well,
to.
I'm pretty sure natural
internet?
causes
What's
at
that?
85. or
95.
95.
95.
It's going to be something.
He
They'll call
died
it
of
something.
bad cameos.
I liked some of his cameos.
Oh, his cameos were all awesome, actually, yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter if they were bad or good. It was like you're just like, yeah, Stan Lee. Yeah.
Shooting a cameo
He
for
died of cameos. in
Guardians
general.
of the Galaxy 3, and
They stretched him too far.
he was crushed by the guy that plays Drax.
Dave Bautista?
Yes.
He did. Batista bombed him.
He checked his contract, and somehow he ended up contractually obligated to do a cameo in Aquaman, and it gave him a heart attack.
Somehow he was contractually obligated to do a cameo in Aquaman.
Which is not a Marvel thing. So
No, it's DC.
that's what I mean. He said, "What? I gotta be in Aquaman
Stan Lee did
with that
work
big
for
Hawaiian goofball." You know?
Stan Lee did work for DC for a little bit back.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Henry
What a
Ford worked for
traitor.
Cadillac, so.
And Jack Kirby contributed a lot to DC too. I don't know what. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, and then he became a big pink ball that
DC
rides around on
warlord
a
Travis
star.
Morgan. If you don't know that one, check it out.
Now,
That
what
was
about,
Jack Kirby at the beginning, and then it was Mike Grell.
How's about Aquaman versus Bugs Bunny?
Oh my goodness! What?
I mean, Bugs.
Aquaman versus Bugs Bunny.
You know, Bugs is out of his element. It's not his
Are you
turf, the
sure?
ocean.
Because I feel
Are
like
you
Bugs
kidding
Bunny.
me? Have you seen the video where he's messing around with that hound and he's dressed up in drag as the mermaid?
Yeah,
Bugs
Bugs
is
Bunny-
totally in his element.
Aquaman
Bunny-
has
everything
Go
is Bugs
anywhere,
Bunny's
man.
element.
Aquaman would not stand a chance.
Well, let's say he's
Yeah, but, like,
scuba diving.
friggin'
Let's say he's scuba
Aquaman
diving.
has all the
Aquaman
same
has
powers as SpongeBob.
no.
Hey,
if
no,
he's scu-
he has all the same powers as Mermaid Man. First of all, and Aquaman can has sharks and trained piranhas to attack Bugs Bunny. So I mean that might help him.
Well, yeah, that's the point. If they're like under the sea, if Bugs Bunny is scuba diving, Aquaman has home field advantage. But still, Bugs Bunny, he manages to outwit most of the foes that he encounters. So you gotta wonder. The sharks
Yeah,
would come
he
up
can
to him
break
and he
up
would be
anything.
dressed as a beautiful shark.
Yeah.
And he'd
I
be
don't know.
like, "Oh,
Like, are we?
boys.
Wait, so are we?
he went that away."
Wait, so are we? I forgot to ask. Are we still in like the DC universe, or are we kind of like in a dimension of the Toons?
We are in a universe
comic
that
book,
involves
tune, anything.
any and all
Anything.
comic book characters simultaneously.
I think we're in a cross dimension where it's both. Let's say
Yeah, all can exist with each other.
the Toons still have their Toon powers, and
The
DC
Roger
people
Rabbit's
still have
gonna
their
walk up
DC
any
powers.
minute.
Oh shit! They're all screwed. Unless someone finds the dip.
The thing with Toons is their Toon abilities are too strong. They literally can't die. How many times
They're
has
like
Wile E.
too true,
Coyote
too true.
fallen off a cliff? How many times has Elmer Fudd been shot in the face with his own gun? They can't die.
How many times has Wolverine been killed?
That's true, but he has a healing factor. So
Well, most of those characters they don't quite die. When they do die, it's like, oh my god, life is over. Now we have to move on just slightly.
Wait,
but
wait,
then
We all
somebody's
remember the Two
reborn.
Towers.
the
Well,
Toons are the comic
any
books.
comic strip, things come back to life.
That's
Always,
true.
or a variant of it.
Yeah.
If the thing dies, it will come back in some way because the story
Beetle
has to
Bailey,
keep going
High
on.
and Lois.
I mean, like
Ziggy.
it's all about the money, you know.
Gandalf.
Like
Well,
recently,
it's the story, the continuation.
Did
of
you
the
just
story.
compare Gandalf to Ziggy?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Ziggy was a better wizard.
Ziggy?
Think about it.
Is
Go through
that
the
on your
whole-
list?
What?
Ziggy.
No.
Okay.
And I wasn't even the one who brought it up, so
did?
thanks for that point,
Well, who
Kathy.
said Ziggy? Someone said Ziggy.
I did.
Okay,
You want to
then
call me
you.
out on it?
I'm gonna call you.
You know who
on
would be
it.
a great comic character?
She pointed at Blake.
Thanks, Kathy.
Well, I thought you said Ziggy. Didn't you say Ziggy? Oh,
I
you
said
did say
Ziggy after he brought it up.
Oh, you know who'd be a good
Well,
comic
it's
character
whoever said
actually would
Ziggy.
be like Ziggy Stardust.
Well, Ziggy started.
I'm sure that exists.
So is
Yeah,
Ziggy?
Probably in Heavy Metal Magazine.
And then Kiss, right? They printed their own comics with their own blood. Remember that?
Yeah, I believe the blood part.
Blood
sure.
and cum.
Blum. Lonely is the night.
It sure is.
Hey Blake, you want to help me with these list items?
Yes. I can think of some suggestive for you.
Hey, Dean, have you ever seen one of these?
Really?
Wow.
There's no
good
video
work,
on this
Dean.
program, man. Nobody can see that.
Joey just whipped his penis out for everybody that is wondering.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm sorry, Dean. I'm sorry it hit you in the
below
face.
average.
Never one that small.
It's more you had to
No, but
kind of
for
like
serious.
tweeze it
8
out.
inches or nothing, man.
Dean learned a lot when he was underneath the futon.
Yeah, thank Rod for that one.
They don't call him Rod for nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Like there was this one guy we knew called Rand, and his nickname was Kickstand Rand. You can guess why.
what
about-
his name was Rand?
Yes.
What about the Tasmanian Devil versus the Incredible Hulk? I'm going into Marvel territory now.
Whoa.
Oh,
These are
shit.
some weird
Again.
mixes.
I don't know,
Looney Tunes versus Marvel. All right. Tasmanian Devil versus Incredible Hulk. Well, if the Hulk ever lands a hit on the Tasmanian
Exactly.
Devil, it's over.
What are you talking about? The Tasmanian Devil's virtually indestructible, except for
No,
that.
he never gets hit.
I
Too
think,
fast.
I think
Agreed.
he's also kind
No,
of
remember one time
stunned.
Daffy Duck beat the shit out of him because Taz took some of his money.
Oh, well, if Daffy Duck can beat the shit out of him, never mind.
remember that.
The Hulk is going to kick his ass.
And remember, friggin' Bugs Bunny served him Wild Turkey Surprise that was fucking a can of TNT with 2 sticks of dynamite as drumsticks. He ate that, exploded, and then belched.
I think-
Still intact.
Cast iron Teddy.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think the Tasmanian Devil would survive.
So
whatever
if the
he had.
Tasmanian Devil can quickly swallow the Hulk, he's all good.
It'd be like boom,
Or vice
and his,
versa.
and like his body sack. Boom,
I think I sounded more like Tiny from Crash Bandicoot instead of the Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah, I haven't played that game in forever.
I didn't play those either. I only played like Crash Nitro Kart, which after playing it yesterday again, I realized was basically a gnarly knockoff of Mario Kart.
Yeah, well, all the
That's
kart
getting
games
deleted
back
out of the
then.
podcast.
It never even happened.
What was I thinking?
What about,
Wolverine in the actual comic books, not in the movies or anything, but he had this one thing that was in a What If. If you've ever heard of that, Marvel What If.
I have heard of Marvel What
and
If.
it was stories that didn't really happen. Like there's one of them was where What If the Thing fought the Hulk, you know, and shit
Yeah.
like that, right? And
Hulk kills the Thing, I believe, which is what happened.
in Wolverine's, he could use his claws to keep people from coming up with ideas or thinking about what to do because he would pop their thought balloon that was over their head on the page. He would just tear through it with his claws. One of my favorites. So I was like, that's a good power to have. Anytime any creature, any other character tries to think of something to do, you get to go, nope.
This
That's
is a real,
LP.
this is
That's
a real
fucked
thing?
up.
It was in What If Comics, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stanley
I don't know,
also
it's the
did.
list game. I could be lying. I don't know.
He did DC
Well, I wanna
Reimagine,
come.
where he reimagined all the main DC characters. Like Batman was actually a Batman.
I've
was
seen
a
that,
giant
yeah.
bat.
But wasn't that already an enemy of
Yeah, Man
Batman's?
Bat.
Man Bat?
Yeah, very clever name.
What if the Green Lantern was actually made out of ice cream? It's just a bunch of panels of him slowly melting.
His name is Soft Serve Joe.
What if the Green Lantern was a Green Lantern?
It's just 25 pages of a Green Lantern sitting there. It's the same panel.
I can barely read in this light.
I wonder what they're using to light that lantern. Is it kerosene? I mean, what gives it that green glow? It's intriguing.
Just goes on with thought
Stained
bubbles.
glass, man. Stained glass.
A lantern's life, sitting,
It's
waiting.
the bioluminescence.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta bring up.
Is that on your list?
Wait.
No.
Oh, it's a bluff point for Hey!
Wait, the bioluminescence
Bioluminescence,
of
which
what?
is underwater.
I know
It's
it is,
these-
like fireflies
those
and
glowing-
No,
glowworms
no.
and
It's
stuff
like
that.
well,
Jellyfish.
No, it's
It's
more.
glowing
Glowing
vomit.
jellyfish.
No,
Bioluminescence.
it's phytoplankton. that have these animals. Zooplankton usually.
Wait, but don't.
Like Plankton from
I'm-
SpongeBob.
I'm sure, like.
No, it looks
I'm
like a
going
little
to
dog.
get the Krabby
named
Patty
Fido.
recipe.
Hold on.
I can't hear you.
Do fireflies
You're, like,
have
making these weird
bioluminescence, or is it
voices.
something within the little sac that they have that makes them light up?
It's I think it's what it is their bacteria inside the
it's-
actual zooplankton that will light up.
I think
I got a
it's
sack that
magic.
lights up under certain situations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your wife tells us.
Because I actually always wondered about that with
Broken
fireflies. I
matches
wasn't
by you.
sure.
I think I see the doctor about that, man.
Say again.
I always wondered that with fireflies. I wasn't sure if they're
Oh,
sac.
fireflies.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but I know with the zooplankton, it's actual bacteria that it's a separate organism inside them that actually,
Make them glow.
flares up
I think it's
like a
just
solar
magic.
flare.
Magic.
Yeah, it was invented by the guy whose name I'm trying to remember how to pronounce. It was Mixoplexix. Anybody remember that guy?
Mixoplexix. No.
Mixoplexix. He was in an early episode of Superman, and he even came around.
Oh, Mixoplexix. Yes,
Mr.
I know him.
Plexus.
Yeah.
And he had like all these leprechaun powers, and he looked kind of like this little leprechaun
Yeah,
dude.
he's a fifth dimensional being
Right.
that can
and the
bend
only way
reality
that you
to
could
his
get rid of
will.
him, Superman realized, well, the first time, the only way you could get rid of
You
him.
have to say his name
you had
backwards
to
three
say
times.
his name backwards 3 times.
Yeah.
So he's
Which is
Rumpelstiltskin.
hard with a
So
name like
he invented
Mixoplexix.
the microbiome glowing stuff.
The
right?
microbiome
and I've
glowing.
always seen Mr. Mixoplexix. It is, I don't know if it's ever been a comic book, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right? But wouldn't he be the guy at the Gorge of Eternal Peril?
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna ask you these 3 questions.
Oh, you mean the old man from C-24?
Batman!
What is your quest? What is the capital of Assyria?
Don't know that.
The reason I didn't know who you're talking about right away is because whenever I see his name in comic books, I just go blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right, that's in my head.
What is that?
Mr. Blah blah blah.
Must be Russian.
So,
Czechoslovakian.
so what about Hawkeye versus Bugs Bunny as Robin Hood? Do we all remember the episode in which
Hawkeye and
I don't remember
Bugs Bunny
as
was Robin Hood?
I remember Daffy as Robin Hood.
I remember Porky Pig was Friar Lawrence. Or
yeah,
no,
or
Friar
Friar
Lawrence. is-
Tuck.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
Friar Tuck.
But yeah, that was Daffy Duck as Robin Hood.
It was.
Oh,
It was.
The man is
Oh.
correct.
Because
Daffy
it
Duck.
was in that Chuck Jones movie I was telling you about when we were talking about Wile E. Coyote. Super
I don't even think
genius.
Bugs Bunny was in that.
well, Daffy Duck
No,
had
he-
his
he
own
was
little
narrating
solo
it.
career where he was kind of as smart as Bugs Bunny.
well, if operating
You know,
within the bounds of cartoon logic, couldn't you just see Daffy Duck firing like a crossbow in a direction, just a random direction, and the arrow bounces off of several trees, a rock, maybe the back of somebody's head, and then pierces Hawkeye through the forehead?
So is this Hawkeye from
But you
MASH?
have to realize.
Hawkeye from Marvel.
I don't know me. No,
But you have to
I'm not a
realize
Marvel
that the
person.
Daffy
What
Duck
a
Doesn't
bogey.
look like a hawk
Mash.
at all. He's just really good with the bow.
But you do have to
What a
realize
bogey
that
cat.
the Daffy Duck Robin Hood was a pretty crappy Robin Hood. He tried hitting that English lord and getting that big purse he had, and he couldn't do it. He ends up being a friar at the end, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe Hawkeye has a chance against
Yeah,
the Duck.
well, against Daffy Duck, totally.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Bugs Robin Hood, no chance. Bugs would totally trump Hawkeye.
Well, what
but-
if he's
The thing is with-
distracted by Scarlett Johansson?
Daffy's best superpower is failure.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like
I think I
Yeah,
think that's kind of
Daffy's
a
kind of
part
like the
it.
red shirt of.
There you go.
Well, he's definitely against Bugs Bunny. He's no comparison, but he can.
You're
he
despicable.
alone he can be better than all the other characters.
no,
He's smart
that's,
enough.
That's not true because he always messed up in Joey. You probably remember this, but I don't really remember. Remember when he was in space with Porky Pig?
You mean the Duck Dodgers episode?
Yeah, the Duck Dodgers
Yeah.
episode. He always messed up as Duck Dodgers, and
Always.
Always. Yeah.
and he was like the protag in that. So
And the Robin Hood one with Daffy was Yosemite Sam was like Sir Yosemite Sam or
No.
Sir something. Wasn't he a knight?
There was one where Sam was in control of a dragon, and
And he had a suit of armor.
and he used
Okay.
and he used the dragon to get all the treasure from the neighboring kingdoms.
Right. And his name was not Yosemite Sam in that one.
It was like Sir Sam
Okay.
something or other.
Sir Yosemite.
And it turned out that for some reason TNT was a thing in the Middle Ages, and Bugs locked him in one of the towers of the castle with the dragon and all the TNT. The dragon sneezes.
Yeah,
And
if you're in
gets
Looney
sent
Tunes,
with
it
a
doesn't
rocket to
matter
the
what
moon.
year it is. TNT's there. They got it, man. They got dynamite.
Yeah.
Well,
They got to be able to blow stuff up.
They had TNT well before the Crusades, if that's
This
about
is
what
true.
we're
What?
talking about.
TNT?
Yeah, the Chinese.
The Chinese had
invented it
fireworks
way
and,
back
and they
when.
But
were
it
great
was.
but this was
well,
a
they had
Western-
black powder, but it was Nobel that invented dynamite.
No,
In
it
the-
was
in the-
Chinese.
in the
It was
19th
Nobel.
century.
It was Nobel.
Don't get in a fight about it, folks.
No,
but-
no, no, no.
We talked
All
about
these
this last
inventors-
No,
week.
the Chinese could blow stuff up, but they did not have dynamite yet. They did not have a paper stick that they could light that would blow up a giant rock.
I disagree on that.
Okay,
Well, you're
we'll have to
wrong.
look that
You're
up.
free to be
Yeah.
wrong, Kathy.
Hey,
It's a
man.
free
You're going
country.
to pause this thing while we look at it.
Not everything that explodes is dynamite.
That's
Just
right.
so you know.
Imagine if Little Boy was
The
dynamite.
Chinese also invented the first instant food. Back then, they had like different kinds of ramen that you could just put hot water.
They
on.
invented takeout, you know.
That's right. They invented instant burger,
Instant.
and they didn't even
burger.
know what a hamburger was yet.
And the oh boy.
So something there is to be called. Something there is to be called.
They had the
Come
little
on,
white
Joey.
glove that could come and make your dinner taste better.
Are you talking about the hamburger helper glove?
That's right.
Oh my god.
Is instant burger on your list?
Oh, she got me.
Yeah, I knew something on there was. Whew. It's the only way I'm going to get points
in
today.
there to cover it.
So what about one of the like really overpowered comic book villains like Thanos or Darkseid or
Galactus.
what's
Who
the name
are
of the
these
guy
people?
who killed Superman again?
Yeah, Thanos.
Doomsday?
Doomsday killed Superman.
I was pissed off
I mean-
that they even bothered to include that dude in a movie. Lamest BS in the comic
Lamest
books
Damus.
ever. Lame.
Galactus was in a movie?
No, I said Thanos.
Thanos.
Doomsday.
Thanos.
But I mean, like these guys versus even the Looney Tunes with
by
their.
then, even the superheroes themselves, they had just taken it too
Dude,
far.
the thing is,
it wasn't funny.
the thing is,
I mean, these like Titans versus even the Looney Tunes. It would just be like taking out the trash.
well, okay, the thing with Darkseid is, are we talking about Darkseid or are we?
Oh, we
going with
can
who killed
talk
Superman?
about all of those villains.
Actually, I'm going to talk about Doomsday. The reason Doomsday was able to kill Superman is because every time Superman killed him, he adapted to withstand whatever killed him before. So he eventually became invincible. Like when Superman lobotomized him, he came back with no brain, but still able to think. So he could not be lobotomized.
That's convenient.
Because there's a brain in the butt.
I was gonna say that was the secret. He just never told you.
so that's where your brain
me
is.
in the
Kathy,
butt.
huh?
Hey, I got two brains. One
Doomsday
in
is
my
that he
butt.
was literally made to kill Superman. So a being made to kill Superman can probably kill the Looney
Yeah,
Tunes.
I remember. I saw the movie Mark Zuckerberg constructed.
No. Let's not. No, that's okay. But yeah,
Mark Zuckerberg.
every
I
time.
liked how Doomsday he had the
That's a Jesse Eisenberg.
he had the
joke,
underwear
by the
for
way.
different days on the cross the back said Monday, Tuesday, and then he had one that really big said Doomsday.
And it's like a big pair of underwear. You can just only hold a lot.
But like every time a Looney Tune would like incapacitate him, he would come back adapted to withstand whatever incapacitated him before.
Capacitate?
Incapacitate.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Okay, thanks, Kathy.
I got my eyes on all of you.
No, like I said, too much, man. Give me the old
Mike
classic bad
Wazowski.
guys. Give me that gang of, bonzo jerk-offs that Batman had to beat up all the time. The mutants or whatever they were, and then there was like the
mutants who aren't
somebody had
actually
a group
mutants.
of robot clowns.
Was it the Joker?
Could have been, most likely.
Probably the Riddler.
But I'm trying to think Marvel. I'm thinking robot clowns in Marvel.
In Marvel.
I think it was in Fantastic Four.
Oh, I don't really read
Yeah,
Fantastic Four.
that was a way long time ago. I was a little kid getting those. Made a lot of money off of those.
Robot clown.
It definitely doesn't
'Cause I
sound.
took care of them and I saved them. When I got older, I sold them.
The thing is, Fantastic Four had a lot of enemies.
A lot,
And
yeah.
it doesn't seem like something Doctor Doom would do. Robot clowns.
Dr. Doom is a robot clown. He
He takes himself way too serious.
Suddenly his helmet's got this like top hat on top of it, flower that squirts.
He's got the Doom box though, which
So
is very
I got
convenient.
I got a question. When do you guys?
Doombox, wasn't that a chick?
So I have a question. When do you think the first comics came out? I mean, there must have been comics before.
the
before.
first
I mean, when the
I mean, like-
cavemen were drawing on the cave
Right.
walls,
But,
that was a
but
comic.
were
That's an
those,
argument,
what's the
yeah.
definition? What's the definition of a comic? Is it a caricature of something that has superpowers, or is
Oh yeah,
it
you'd be surprised what
something
some of those
that's-
hieroglyphics on the pyramids actually say.
Well, but is it? But that could be religious.
Like
versus,
before-
But some of them are just comics. There's this one about
But
this dude
what
always
is-
gives everybody swirlies.
Yeah, tapestries are
Yeah.
considered comics, definitely.
Tapestries in the
right?
Dark Ages hanging on castle walls.
But
Or
what's the
comics
difference
that told
between-
stories about the Green Knight and stuff?
Yeah, but these are stories versus comics. Why? do you
Comics
need
are stories,
If
though.
it's a picture that tells a story, it's a comic.
to picture it, tell the story.
and they're
Okay.
usually retellings of those kind of stories. You know, the White Knight going off to save whoever.
However many times King Arthur was brought up.
Yeah.
So you would call the story of King Arthur a comic?
Yeah, sure. Why
Absolutely.
not?
Well,
When it's
I would say it was
illustrated.
more of a
proto-comic.
storytelling and
That's
a
what I'm
tale
asking.
first.
That's what I'm
'Cause
asking.
It's a legend.
It's
and
a legend,
can
it's a
never
legend
be a
and a
comic.
tale, but then people did make comics of it.
Exactly.
So my question
So it was a story
again
first
is,
that wasn't a comic, but people did make
So
comics
what
of
makes
it.
the comic different from a story?
Not really much.
Okay,
More
so
pictures?
every
a story you can sit around the campfire and tell with no pictures.
You can
A comic, you gotta have pictures, man.
Okay,
Unless it's
and
chronosphere fiction. Then it's the world's best comic, and you don't
hey,
have
is
to
that
see a
on?
thing.
No,
Intentional plot.
I've heard of that podcast. People should totally listen to that and give those people a lot of money.
I heard
They're
there's
doing
a
good
great
job.
show
Yeah.
called Generation Z.
On Chronosphere
Watch it on
Fiction.
Chronosphere
Oh, yeah.
Fiction.
Talk about zombies that know their stuff. There you go.
Yeah, I think what makes a comic versus a story, a legend, a fable, whatever, is the
Fable.
pictures. The
Fable is close, right? Aesop's
well, it's
Fables.
it's the pictures.
But a fable can still
You've
be
never
told
seen a
with
comic
with no visuals.
Yeah, you've never seen a comic without the pictures. It's the the mindless cranial download that just is beamed directly into your brain when you turn the page.
Is cranial download on your list?
Yes.
Oh, good try, Blake.
Yeah, that was good. Very good, but not.
Damn,
good
I was
enough.
gonna let it slide. I was. Yeah, cranial
done.
download. Good words.
Okay, so back to though.
But-
when do you think the first comics occurred? Like, why would like in the little? I don't know. Maybe this
It was in the Jurassic period. And it was insects. No, it was insects. Remember back then, insects were really big, right? And they had brains. They had brains, right? And some of them were more stronger than the others, so they actually got to the point where they didn't have to worry about survival all the time, and they had some time to chill, and they learned how to draw, and they made their first comics for one bug to look at after another bug drew it, and they would sit there reading their bug comics while they ate the littler bugs.
And so then this
And it's
real
just bugs eating bugs, reading about bugs.
and so this
And it wasn't Bugs
massive
Bunny yet.
right. And so then this massive, really old bug with bug eyes named Stan Lee in the Jurassic period
In his Volkswagen Bug.
in his Volkswagen Bug started drawing the original concepts for Iron Man.
well, like at H.P. Lovecraft. Did H.P. Lovecraft? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, as he said, Iron Man. He went right to Iron Man because Iron Man actually was a chitinous set of armor. Like from a really strong cockroach.
Chitinous.
Chitinous is like the armor that some bugs have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chitinous. okay.
Ew,
I'm gonna have
gross.
to- Well, what about like in H.P. Lovecraft? I know there are some images drawn
Oh, yeah.
in H.P. Lovecraft, but that's not really
Is
a
H.P.
comic.
Lovecraft on your list?
No.
Kathy's on a
He's on top of it today.
I just but if you look at those stories, there are some illustrations. When did those start to morph into just more imagery? But you're right. I guess maybe if you look at Egyptian
Hieroglyphics.
hieroglyphs, thank you, hieroglyphs, they are images and then writings up above, right?
It was empty, I promise.
I think weren't those more language though? hieroglyphs?
Most of them. Well, they didn't bother with any alphabet. That's
It was
for
sort
damn
of
sure.
a pictorial language, hieroglyphic.
So it was a language
a
that
language
was a comic
in
book.
images.
Yeah, exactly. So it was
Their whole
automatically a
language was a
comic.
comic book.
What a bunch of nerds.
And there was actual hieroglyphics. I think we brought this up before on another episode of. You have to watch all that stupid documentary crap that I saw on Netflix and everything. But there's
You could just watch the original Mummy.
there's supposedly hieroglyphics that show like somebody in some kind of a spacesuit and in an actual spacecraft, and they were like teaching them how to build the pyramids and to make them a power source and all. That's like I said, this could be a total list game lie, but it was on some documentary junk that
Sounds
I
like
watched.
some Indiana
I've heard about
Jones
this,
kind
yeah.
of stuff.
And there
Just
was a
watch
series-
Ancient Aliens.
There was a series of hieroglyphics in one of the Giza ones that's close to the Sphinx that, as far as anybody's been able to decipher it compared to all the other hieroglyphics they know, they say this thing is talking about a supercomputer
Or the
that
fifth,
was built in the pyramids.
or the fifth element.
Maybe
you know,
HAL
or the
9000.
the fifth
Remember the
element.
fifth element where he's reading the fire, the smoke, the water, and then
Water,
he
fire,
sees the
earth,
fifth,
and air.
and he sees the fifth element in the middle, and he's like drawing it up. He's like, "Oh my God, this means
That was
there's
one
a
of the
fifth
ancient
element."
computers, but the reason that one was so odd out is because it was
It was a really hot.
It was
chick
just
with
like the
orange
chick.
hair.
No, it was bipolar. So what we need is a bipolar computer.
Is that on your list, bipolar computer?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good for you! I was almost going to call him on supercomputer. Very good, very good.
Wow,
Wow.
you were building up to that, huh,
Yeah,
Daniel?
that was very good.
I thought I got it by it too.
Yeah.
So where do graphic novels fit into this? Are
Graphic
they
novels
comics?
are comic books. I don't care what anyone says. They're just trying to act
yeah.
like I'm serious. I read graphic novels, not comic books. They're comic books. Shut the hell up.
graphic novel.
No, there
Speaking
is
of
definitely
Hawkeye,
a difference.
is that the one I'm
There's a
thinking of? He had
difference.
a
It's
really
called
good one.
art.
He has a lot of good comics.
Yeah.
They're silly. Some of them
He
are
had a really good
serious
graphic
though.
novel.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Is there a Hawkeye graphic novel? There's a storyline between him and the Winter Soldier I know about.
I'm thinking of somebody else. Is there a guy named like Longbow or something like that?
Green Arrow? Are you talking about Green Arrow?
It wasn't Green Arrow.
Wasn't Green Arrow? He has some good graphic novels.
Yeah, could have been. No, okay. I know the one I'm thinking about. It was called The Longbow Hunters,
Yeah.
but I forget which hero. it is.
Hunters, plural?
The Longbow Hunters. That was the name of the story. Was the
Right.
Longbow Hunters, but it was somebody like Hawkeye or I think it was Green Arrow. I think you got it.
It sounds like something like Green Arrow. Especially since Green Arrow actually has sidekicks.
yeah. He had the purple short sword. He had what was it? Something like
That's what she said.
The red rapier.
There's
Yeah.
wait,
That's also what she said.
there's Red
they
Arrow,
all
and
fit
there's
like a
also
glove.
who
Yeah, but
eventually
Red
becomes-
Arrow was just a guy with an erection.
You know what? Maybe that's why they changed his name to
It's a
Arsenal.
superpower in itself.
They called him Arsenal because of all the ammo that film had.
It's true. It's true. To have an
Viagra
erection
Man.
is a good superpower. You,
Good one, Blake.
Thanks.
I didn't hear it.
That's Viagra Man.
Just came out of nowhere. and said
Totally
Viagra
not.
Man.
It's totally not on my
friend
list.
Kickstand Rand was actually the basis.
Wait a minute, man! This fight against these bad guys has lasted over 4 hours, dude. You better go check yourself.
No, that's his power. He can have an erection for longer than is healthy, as far as the Viagra.
So he kind of
commercials
loses some
say.
health
Yeah, but if
during
you
it.
go over 4
It's like,
hours, you
that's
could
the
be in some
tragedy.
trouble. According to what they say on the commercial.
Well, that's his power. He can have that indefinite erection without any repercussion.
No. There's always a tragedy in the power that you have. So he has it.
Well, he's always really awkward when he goes into public because he has
reminds
to
me
try.
of-
His
I think
parents
this
died
was-
when he was really
Or
young.
he doesn't think straight when he's fighting because all his blood is elsewhere.
Do you remember
Yeah.
ever read a comic
Always
about
lightheaded.
this guy whose name was Bone?
That sounds familiar.
That sounds
No,
familiar.
He looked like a little
Bone.
like
Like a
aardvark
bone.
dude or something.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
that's true.
And it was really funny. It was like non sequitur kind of stuff, or non sequitur isn't the right word, but I'm trying to copy something else I thought of.
I'm sorry to cut in here, but
Dino.
I gotta keep talking about Viagra Man.
Okay, yeah, well, that's what Bone was all about, man.
I think his like main use of his power is walking in on crime, and then the criminals just feeling really uncomfortable.
I think I'll just show myself out. Sorry.
Why? We were just getting started, guys. Come on.
His secret lair is 2 bathtubs on the sand on the beach.
Could you get that out of my way while I'm trying to hit you?
A criminal like
He always
punches him. He's like,
trips
"Oh, I
over it."
touched it. Oh man."
Oh, gross! I give up. Take me to jail.
Is that like him spitting at me? Shit.
No, Viagra Man
That's his
is
power, he blinds you.
Viagra Man isn't the superhero we want, but he's the superhero we deserve.
Is he though?
Yes, we deserve Viagra Man.
Oh my god. And this is where the
I think
cleanly-
Pfizer will pick up on this, and they'll be like, "Yeah, Viagra Man. We'll make our own comics based off of this."
I'd read it.
And he has the villain Gigantus, who's
He's just a lot bigger than him.
her lair is just this gigantic cave, you know, like, one of those caves that goes down forever deep under the mountains. And it's like as he approaches it, like all of a sudden he feels so small. It's like I can't even touch the sides, man.
No.
His sidekick
It's like
is,
throwing a hot dog down the hallway.
His sidekick is erectile dysfunction, boy.
His weakness is having his erection longer than 4 hours.
No. Gigantor or Gigantus is actually she attracts him by being like all small and demure and pursy and moist and just
okay.
totally.
And then all of a sudden, don't say
Kathy,
it's got tentacles.
don't say moist, Kathy.
Moist
Actually,
is the
his-
most sensuous word in the English
It's the
language.
most important word to women on the planet.
No.
Moisture
She,
is
um,
what they live for, dude.
She lures him in.
The mucus
On their
membrane.
skin, on their hair.
The
everything.
mucus
They just love
membrane just.
moisture.
No, she lures him in with, simple aromatherapy like pumpkin spice scented candle,
Yes.
tangerine candle.
Love it.
He's like, wow, that makes me moist.
Has a plate of oysters on the side.
Is pumpkin spice on your list?
No.
Yeah. But the other one is.
Blake's coming back. Come on, Dean and Joe. You gotta get in on this game, man.
All right, so I have a question. How about like comics that were actually already based on stuff that was already successful, like the Star Wars comics? Like
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean the ones that are
Well,
legends
we are
now?
talking about comics. We're not so much talking about extra super. So, yeah, you got all those dudes in Star Wars.
because
Super
didn't
duper
DC publish
vagina.
a limited run of those?
Oh, Star Wars sold out to everybody. DC got to do some for a while. Marvel got to do some for a while.
It was just a big gangbang.
Robot
Yeah.
chicken.
What's that one company that has it looks like a knight from a chess game? Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah, they did some.
They got to do a whole
Yeah.
bunch of Star Wars
Yeah.
stuff.
Because I remember I was in Metro like 10 years ago, and you see this really cool one of these Ewoks. It was like kind of like the extended thing after the Ewoks, and you see all these.
But they're really Jawas in their special Ewok pajamas. Look, Mom, I look like an Ewok.
Yes, and so anyways, they're partying it up on Endor.
Wow, that was
And-
like a really good clue.
Now I'm like,
I like the
really
way-
listening.
They're partying
Yeah,
up
like,
on
I
Endor.
think
What?
he may have said something on his list, possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah. The way
Anyways.
you lifted that up, so like.
Nonchalantly. Anyways, it was cool.
Boy, you got
Them,
calm down, Kathy.
The Ewoks had
I'm
their
hyper.
own comic books.
Yeah,
series
like
for quite
like-
a
Yeah,
while.
they did.
I don't remember how many episodes.
yeah, like that one part where they're having like that Wookiee gangbang, or like,
Or you got one Wookiee tied
or
up
they're
to a
playing the
tree.
helmet drum set and that kind of thing.
Tie that Wookiee to the log.
You know, I always like.
Bust out your switch. Who's got the Viagra?
I do always like comics that give you a bit of a
Take that
nostalgia.
butcher.
I wish they would make more like kind of like probably like grittier versions of our childhood television shows. I don't know
Wiki.
about you guys, but like a mad
Wiki.
scientist Dexter's Laboratory thing would be kind of cool. And
Dexter's Laboratory was
It just became Dexter.
talking about your childhood, my childhood. Dexter's Laboratory was a spoof on something from when I was like 7 years old. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was, kind of like Bill Nye the Science Guy, but he was a little more like Captain Kangaroo kind of thing. Dexter.
Dexter never gave us real science.
No, but the original, especially if you watch the first few episodes of Dexter, is making fun of that guy. That's what it was.
Dexter's
Just like,
Laboratory. What is this?
Oh, you got to see Dexter's
One of the-
Laboratory.
One of the
called
best
Dexter's
cartoons
Laboratory?
ever made.
Oh, that's great. The Venture Brothers. I don't know.
I love
Did
the
they have
Venture
a comic
Brothers.
book? I don't think so.
They didn't have a comic book, but they're making fun of
Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
No, Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
Is in
That's
there.
an old one.
Yeah.
But,
It was
uh,
redone
Johnny
as Johnny
Quest
did
Test.
have comic books.
Is Dexter's Laboratory on your list?
No.
God damn it.
Was it even Dean that brought up Dexter's
Yeah, it
Laboratory?
was.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say 2 times, Kathy.
Yeah, I blew it. I'm blowing it, but that's okay.
Or how about was there ever a comic about like how great life in the USSR was? Like
I'm sure the USSR produced
Oh yeah,
some.
yeah. Red Sun Comics.
The Red
is
Sun,
The Red Sun about Soviet Superman.
laughing
I'm
in
glad
the,
you didn't say Red Dawn.
laughing in the gulags
Dong.
and shit.
Red Dong.
As they're there's something they read while they're either reporting to
the KGB.
or standing in line for bread or something.
They put a positive spin on standing in line for bread. Boy, comrade, I can't wait to get my bread ration today.
That's
Best
their
bread in the whole
superhero is
world.
the guy who can stand in line so long he lets people cut in front of him.
Bread man.
It's like, I can stand here for days.
He's
don't
got a
I?"
bottomless appetite. He never starves to death from the collectivist policies of the Soviet Union.
And then his favorite album is Guns N' Roses' Appetite for
Oh,
Destruction.
actually, it being the list game, he's standing in line and letting people cut in front of him, but he never dies of hunger or anything because
He's eating people.
he's eating the people he's letting cut in front of him.
Oh, that just took a really Hansel and Gretel turn right there.
Thank you very much.
He just
You gotta eat
nibbles
people
on their
the list
shoulders.
game. We almost forgot.
Is Hansel and Gretel on your list?
No, actually.
Oh, yeah. I was almost going to call on that.
Do Hansel and Gretel eat the witch?
I think in
no,
some
they
Well,
just
they
stuff her in
killed
the
her.
oven. They,
but the witch wouldn't eat her, so I guess that does make sense.
it's only fair.
In the original story, yeah, they stuff her in the oven. No, you're right. They didn't eat her. Yeah.
No,
but
no, they just
she
threw.
gets cooked.
Yeah.
So somebody comes along and goes,
Hansel and Gretel. Hansel
Roast
and Gretel
witch, my
represent the Comedy Central roast of the witch.
Was it Disenchantment, that new Netflix TV show? You know the one I'm talking about. That's from the Futurama writers, Futurama and Simpson writers. You
Oh,
the-
I know the
Oh,
I know
yeah.
the one you're talking
Disenchantment.
about.
Didn't they have like a Hansel and Gretel character that did eat
they
the
did.
witch?
They
Yeah.
did.
Oh, there you
And
go.
then Hansel and Gretel ate the witch.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
They watched
Wow, what
Silence
a
of the Lambs
twist.
too much.
Now, wasn't the girl with the dragon tattoo or whatever it's called? Wasn't that a graphic novel originally?
I thought it was
just a
French
novel.
movie.
I know it was a
French
movie eventually, like one with Daniel Craig. but-
There is a graphic novel of it, but I don't know which one came first. Yeah,
You know,
was
I
it a
know I've
graphic
seen
novel
that.
first, and then they made a good? I think they made the book first.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it's really well written. It doesn't feel like something that was adapted, you know. So I would say the book came first.
So, what were some good like comics that got made into like really epic like movies and TV shows? Like,
Well, Johnny Quest, that's a good one right
oh
there.
man, I mean, I had the VHSs. I never watched them though because I like the Banana Splits more.
They had their own comic book.
You're kidding
The
me.
banana
The
splits.
Banana Splits.
Yeah.
Tra la 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 la.
It's already.
I was gonna say awesome
la,
trivia
la,
right here
la,
too.
la.
Awesome trivia. And Bob Marley got busted for this and had to pay the money to the Banana Splits people because there's a song by Bob Marley called Buffalo Soldier.
Buffalo Soldier.
And
that
all
one, yeah.
he did was he took the
the
Banana
hearts of
Splits
America.
theme song and slowed it down a little bit.
Buffalo Soldier.
And back then, you could sue somebody for something like that and actually win. Now you can't.
Buffalo Soldier on your list.
No, that's a bluff point.
The Daredevil TV show is really good. I mean, Daredevil
That is
comics
such a
were already
lie.
good, but the TV show is excellent.
I've heard the show's good.
And all the animated.
Oh, you don't like the movie with Ben Affleck?
I did like it when I was a kid.
Wait,
I'm
which
not gonna
movie
lie.
is this?
But I
Daredevil?
rewatched it when
Oh,
I
yeah,
grew
I
up,
didn't
and it
even
was
see
just
that one.
so bad.
This is Viagra Man, the movie.
This is, Daredevil. Looks
Also,
stupid.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They made some really epic cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Viagra Man the movie? Did they call that House of Cards or Mad Men or
Oh,
something
that's
like
fucked
that?
up.
Game of Thrones.
Wait. So back to like the famous ones for the TV. I meant to ask you this, and because I didn't know, was Breaking Bad ever a comic?
No.
Or was it just
It
original?
hasn't
Definitely-
been yet. No,
Okay.
God,
And it never was, but it will be.
Please let it not be.
no, it will be.
What, you don't like
so
Breaking
good.
Bad?
No, but I like it.
Better
as it
Call
is.
Saul
Okay,
was
that's
going to be
fair.
just
That's
a comic
fair.
book.
Oh, really?
And then
Oh, I love
the
Better Call
guys, they had so much money. They said, no, let's do this thing, So
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of times when they make a comic based off like a TV or a successful media or something, they usually do a good job depending on the writer.
Are you saying if
and
they're
the
making
artist.
the TV or the movie after the comic?
No, the comic after the TV. or
Yeah,
movie.
if they do the comic later, that's a no-brainer. That's
Yeah,
easy. I'll give
but-
you a good one though. What Joey's asking, Walking Dead
The Walking Dead?
was a comic book first.
The
Oh,
comic
no
book's
kidding.
way better than the
The
TV
comic
show.
book is way better. They made huge mistakes in
Yeah.
the series, and I could go off on that for a long time.
Yeah,
It
me
makes
too.
angry.
Especially like starting right
Come on.
off the bat of the TV show, it just was so boring compared to the comic book.
True.
It's like,
Slow
what
mo,
was it
slow mo.
doing?
And okay, Glenn and Abraham die the night that they meet Negan, right?
Yeah.
But how did they get trapped there and get beat up by Negan? They're going in their Winnebago to go help the pregnant chick, right? And there's a roadblock there, and they go, "Oh, we gotta go find a way around." They still had an RPG with one missile that they had not used yet. And the last time they ran into a roadblock like that, Abraham walked out of the Winnebago and went poof and blew up everybody in the roadblock, and they drove on through.
Isn't that Daryl in the show though? Daryl does that in the show?
No.
Or-
Oh, I think no. I think it was Abraham both
It
times.
was Abraham.
Or it was Abraham, yeah. But anyway, my point was, they didn't have to go find a way around. If they forgot to put the RPG back in the Winnebago, then it was like, oh, we got to go back and get the RPG, guys, because we got to blow these guys up so we can go where we're going. None of that shit. They would have not met Negan that night. They would have had to kill Glenn and Abraham later on some other way.
Who the hell forgets an RPG
Who?
to
Yeah,
begin?
exactly. That's why from that point on, I stopped watching the show.
Well, I mean, to
like,
be
it's
fair,
over.
the Russians lost
You
a bunch
screwed
of
up
nuclear
so
missiles.
bad.
So if you can lose a bunch of nuclear missiles, someone can forget an RPG.
I don't know. I feel like a giant country of people is more understandable than two guys holding an RPG.
Fair enough.
Then again, nuclear missiles is like
Yeah.
there's only so many places you can put those.
Okay, what's
your
butt?
You guys ever see the comic produced by Buckingham Palace, as I understand it, based upon the royal wedding between Meghan Markle
Oh
and
my
Prince Harry?
God, please, Jesus.
I don't know
That
if you
was,
guys are familiar
really
with I
touching
Dream
one.
of Jeannie
I am
with Barbara
familiar.
Eden.
Oh, that's
I
right.
I do believe that was a comic book first.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
That's
The
interesting.
first.
Right along with Superman and all that stuff.
Wow.
Really?
Not,
I had
not
no
a
idea.
successful comic book. Not a famous one, but
That's as surprising to hear as like if I don't know, Bewitched.
very short-lived.
Bewitched
Very
was a
short-lived.
comic book
and
first.
then somebody else grabbed it and said, "Oh, let's make a TV
So what-
show out of this."
So what I'd like to talk about, briefly for the 50s and the 60s, as everyone's. I don't remember if they were comics first before they became TV shows, but we have to remember that in the the 50s and 60s in Japan, they started coming out with all the kind of like their own forms of the entertainment. Like I don't know if the kaiju's ever
Yeah, they
were.
had the kaiju's. I
like,
guarantee.
like you think they were comics before
had
or
to be,
mangas?
or there was some other kaiju's that
Yeah.
were comics, or there had to be.
Because I mean,
have
they
no
had,
idea, but
they had
to
some
be.
really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Kathy said Gigantor,
Yeah.
and I remember watching Gigantor on Laserdisc, and that was a pretty cool show. And then
Or the little kid with the watch.
Gigantor.
Gigantor robot.
Gigantor, the Space
Gigantor.
Age robot, or Speed Racer, the original Speed Racer.
I know that one.
You know who does? I mean, who does?
It was not a
friggin-
comic book first.
and I know,
But
but
the show was a comic book.
yeah,
There was so many stills in that
I-
thing
yeah.
where nobody moves.
'Cause
Like,
nobody-
so everybody's standing still, and you see this little line on their face that moves when they're talking. Remember?
Yeah. and it's just
Like the robot
because I
chicken.
mean I've read some like it and I've tried to be into them compared to the movies, but comics about high speed racing aren't like that
All right.
kind of
What did Rod Sterling do first?
Oof.
The Twilight Zone or the Twilight Zone comic book?
Oh, come on. It's got to be the
Hold on.
Twilight Zone.
It's got to be the
the
TV
TV
show.
show
It's got to be
first?
the TV show.
No, we tested it as a comic book first, and the first story in the Twilight Zone comic book universe was the Clairvoyant Doll.
Is that on your list?
What?
Clairvoyant doll.
Fuck you, Blake.
What's that you said about robot chickens?
Yeah, what about it?
Is that on your list?
No,
No! Why would you do that? She said
Well,
that
for Kevin
robot
B.
chicken did it.
She said it before. She said it before, which
Yeah, I
is why
did.
I was
Oh,
curious.
I got
okay.
one too. You got
I thought she was really trying to slip it in there.
I wanted to save you,
slipped it
Blake.
in
But I got
twice.
one.
Thank you for not saving him.
I was trying my hardest.
Thanks for not saving me.
Those were both bluffs, right? No, Blake
Bluff.
got me. and
But
you
I
got
was
a
not-
bluff.
yeah,
I got
yep,
it.
yep,
Okay. God damn.
You know, what'd be really funny is just
Thought I was gonna get that Clairvoyant Doll in there. No, I don't know.
Well, it's weird because I
Twilight
don't
Zone
remember.
I know they
no,
did have a comic book at
They
some
had a
point.
doll.
Talking Tina.
Well, that was in one of the TV shows. Then.
So I have an idea. Like, you know how nowadays sometimes when I mean, in the case of TV shows, when people don't agree with their superiors, they find kind of like ways to waste the budget. Like when John Oliver like spends all that money on stuff he doesn't need for Last Week Tonight. What if people did like these really erratic comics about stuff like kind of about nothing?
I hear John Oliver bought a titanium dildo with the money he's allocated for his show.
Exactly. Stuff like that.
I
Like,
have it. Want to see it? Oh wait,
wow.
I left it at Kathy's house again.
Thank you.
A titanium dildo.
She actually brought it with us.
You have
She's
something
just
to
not
say,
sensitive
Dean?
enough to know.
I
Is
am,
it comfortable?
Nobody said it had to be. I mean, lube
I
it
feel
up
like-
enough and it's just fine.
I feel like the titanium would be cold.
It is cold, but you warm it up.
And he was actually
He's also got a.
Boiling water is like it just.
I think he also bought a.
Cotton pillow.
Heats it up.
I think he also got a goose bladder whoopee cushion.
yeah.
I think he
and,
also.
and he's gonna try and buy like I heard an interview. He's gonna try and buy a bunch of stuff from like Elon Musk at Tesla. He's gonna try and get like those flamethrowers or like. The
I heard he
stock
was
at the,
buying from Elon a Bunsen
the new
burner.
model-
You know,
the new
something
model
that burns
for-
his
You know why
buns.
Wonder Woman had the invisible jet, even though she came from a race of Amazons that like didn't know what a jet was. And
Wonder Woman actually got the invisible jet.
she got it later,
from a
right?
villain.
After
yeah.
they saw, okay, but the reason she kept it invisible is it didn't have to be invisible. And the reason she kept it invisible is because you couldn't tell when she was doing stuff with the stick shift or not.
because she was sitting on it.
Correct.
I actually do believe it didn't have to be invisible. I feel like
It did not have to be invisible. She could
Like,
make
it
it.
Well,
was-
talking about the Amazons, I mean, they did have. I mean, didn't she have like a? Even though they didn't talk about it, didn't she have the bosom that was like a?
Are you talking about armor or
Yeah,
what?
no, it was an actual bosom that could shoot like.
Oh, it was like a breast pump
gun.
that hurt.
No, it was a
just
bosom
out
that could
with it,
actually
Kathy.
shoot a bullet out of
What
it.
she's
was a
saying is
fembot.
that this is the prototype
Austin
to
Powers?
Katy Perry's whipped cream bra in the California Girls
The
video.
fembots were first.
No, but the Amazons cut off one of their breasts so they could shoot an arrow. Boom.
She's
And then
right.
she later.
oh, that's what you're saying.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, it's not coming out
She's
right. So I
They
had
made a chest plate.
they had a
weapon.
right. That
One of their
stuck-
breasts was real,
right.
and the other one
Had
like,
shot,
like this
could
spring
shoot out.
crossbow thing. in it,
Yes.
which was totally unrealistic because
So it was a metallic
how much
bosom.
tension? You'd still only
was
have
a-
like 4 or 5 inches of space. How much tension could you have on that?
No.
Coral?
Well, you get.
You know, it's basically like throwing a pencil at somebody. It might hurt a little bit more than that.
No, but they actually had maybe a nuclear. Yeah, the Elon Musk was brought up. Probably Elon Musk invented something to.
Or it was like that guy from from Dust Till Dawn. He called himself Sex Machine.
Oh, I remember that guy.
His cod piece would flip open, and he had a 6-gun dick that would shoot at you.
Jesus.
That's. I've seen that movie. That is entirely
Sex
true.
Machine. Why do they call me Sex Machine? And he puts his hands on his hip, and his crotch opens up, and it's a freaking revolver.
Well, that's the polar opposite to that scene in Austin Powers where
Yeah,
they
the
come out of her
fembots.
boobs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the polar
Austin.
opposite be like a gun coming out of a vagina?
No, because the penis is down there and the boobs
No,
are
the
up here.
polar opposite would be the
Well, that's not
vagina sucking
polar,
up
really.
bullets.
I got something pretty close,
I
man.
mean, wouldn't the polar be the
Watch while I
opposite
touch
sexual
my
organs?
toes.
Shut up.
No.
I'm going to kill you by sucking you up into my vagina.
That
No
is
one
a-
here wants that.
I never
Obviously,
wanted to
I
know
can
all of
tell.
this.
Moving
All
right
the
on.
four
Dirty
men
stuff
are
in-
like
Wait.
I don't want
All
that.
this dirty stuff in comic books has to bring
voice,
us
man.
to none other than the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Has anybody ever read the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers?
No.
With Fat Freddy Freak, Freeland Franklin Freak, and Phineas Freak. And then
You forgot about Ferb Freak. Phineas and Ferb, they were twins.
no, there was not a Ferb Freak in this comic book. They were hippies that did drugs and stuff like that. And they even Fat Freddy Freak had a cat. I don't remember the cat's name. Of course, it started with an F.
Called furry.
But well, they just pretty much most of the time everybody just called him Fat Freddy's cat.
Furball.
It's Fat Freddy's cat.
Yep.
And he, the Fat Freddy's cat, and I actually have some of them. He got his own comic book.
Oh.
And
Kinda like-
favorite story, Fat Freddy's cat. Of course, they're hippies doing drugs and stuff all the time. They go off to go, Woodstock or wherever they went. There was some crazy hippie concert, and they leave Fat Freddy's cat locked in the house alone, with, of course, like not enough food and everything. And the cockroaches notice that the humans are gone. And there's the cockroaches from the
Cockroaches.
kitchen, and then there's the cockroaches from like the pizza boxes and stuff in the living room. And they're two different factions, and they start to have a war. And the cat's stuck in the middle, and it's the giant, Fat Freddy's cat cockroach war.
Instead of the Wars of the Roses, it's the Wars of the Roaches.
That's what it was called.
Oh.
The Wars of the Roaches. You're right.
So what
Come on,
about
call me, motherfucker.
What about
Come on.
what about
What did I throw in there? Come on.
I know.
You know,
Bring
most
it.
of the
What do you got?
the primitive comic books that we were talking about, like cave paintings and whatnot, they've been washed away over time. Actually, the cave people had
Well, they
superheroes
just,
just
used
like we
Wendy's
did.
ketchup to do it.
Wendy's ketchup,
Yeah, it was all ketchup and mustard. And,
of course.
because, like I said, back in the pyramid days and even before that, the cavemen and stuff, there was people visiting from other planets and teaching them how to do stuff. And they would stop at their version of Wendy's and pick up burgers for everybody on this continent. And that's why you had the instant burger in China back then that I talked about earlier.
I know, which I want to call you on, but I'm not going to.
You did already. You called
Oh, I
me
did.
instant
Oh,
burger. Yeah, you got me on that
okay,
one.
good.
The trouble is, all those cave folk are.
Yep, you got instant burger. You got it.
Trouble is, all those cave folk are always sacrificing bunnies and doing rain dances, so the monsoons come and wash away all the comics. And if that weren't the case,
that's
we
what
would
happened.
we could see all of these cave paintings with Wendy's ketchup.
Wendy's.
Excuse me?
And Frosty.
You're excused.
Cave paintings with Wendy's ketchup. That's what he said. Yeah. They had all these paintings of this little white girl with freckles with braids.
I think it's a red herring, right? No way that's on his
And
list.
they were,
Yeah, there's.
well, if it was, it's on mine because I was the one who said it first.
Wendy's ketchup?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Does that change things, Dean?
Yes, it was definitely true. Daniel started the.
Now, the
Wendy's
whole
ketchup.
reason that, the aliens shared this bounty of fast food from space and condiments was because they noticed that too many of the Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens were getting skinny so fast that it did not help their survival. And the fact that, like Rod would tell you, we could run forever because we could sweat and all that. But they were just dying of malnutrition and starvation. And as they got fatter and they had a little meat on them and, they could move and muscle around, the aliens were like, okay, now that's good.
And then
Did
there
they
was a
talk-
Twilight Zone to serve man situation.
No, it was they just basically taught them how to make their own condiments at that point.
I
Grow-
took
That's
that,
how
I took that a
Wendy's was
completely
born.
different way.
Grow these tomatoes, and then that's how we got the Mayan culture and the Aztecs and the crazy aquifers.
Yeah, but it was
and
the
gardens.
Germans who made the burger.
And it was all about how to make ketchup. That was the birth of comics.
Comics and condiments.
Comics and
That's
condiments.
it. Come and get me, guys. The birth of comics was how to make ketchup.
Totally like spaced out throughout that entire rant.
Me too.
Well, I could go back to episode number 8 and do the whole wheel where we feed the homeless people so that we can take them to the restaurant and the rich people can chop them up and eat them. But we put stuff in there to make the rich people go sleepy sleep, and we chop them up and we put them in the soup that we feed to the homeless people that we're going to bring to the restaurant to get chopped up later. Okay, I'm going to edit
we
that
could go
out.
back
That's-
to,
You got to go to episode number 8 for that one,
Yeah,
guys.
Soylent Green.
We could go back to John Oliver and his titanium dildo.
It's people.
Soylent
Soylent Green is people.
John Oliver and his titanium dildo.
John Oliver
could
had
be
the
a-
titanium dibble.
Oh yeah, he from Elon Musk. He bought lots of products: titanium
like a
dildos,
dildo,
Oh, you said
goose
that's- I thought you said
bladder.
John
Yeah.
Oliver.
Oh, Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
the
Elon
solar
Musk made
sleeping
a
bag.
Titanium
Yeah.
dildo just for him.
I mean, he's making Tesla Keela, so of course he's
Tesla
making these
Keela.
tight.
What's a Tesla
That's true.
Keela?
It's tequila, Tesla brand tequila.
Oh, got it.
But he's also making these titanium dildos
And-
for John Oliver. John Oliver is ordering them. He's having them custom made to fit his rim size. And also those
Which is
goose
very
bladder,
tight because he's British.
whoopee cushions.
That's all right. You should see what Stephen Colbert's got him doing.
You should see.
I already forgot. that.
We shouldn't describe it. You've got to see it for yourself.
Walk up to Stephen Colbert's house, knock on the door, and ask him in person.
All right, you guys got any more actual comic book characters you want to talk about, or you want me to count up some points?
We can talk about, I guess. I don't know. Never mind.
I wanted to go off on the Star Wars thing for a little bit more.
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Name me a couple of Star Wars races. The fisheye guys, you know, it's a
Mon
trap.
calamari.
The what?
Mon calamari.
Moan calamari?
Mon calamari.
Because when you chop them up, they become calamari.
That's right, exactly. And their enemy, the popcorn shrimp. The popcorn shrimp comic in the Star Wars universe was not very well liked. And because, what was it? Carry the one.
Are
put
you
three
still
behind.
going off the popcorn shrimp?
Oh, because whenever you ate them, you ended up being alone, and that's how Han Solo got his
Became
name
Solo.
from eating popcorn shrimp.
Actually-
in the
They explain how Han Solo got his name in the recent Solo movie.
Okay.
That
well,
yeah,
nobody
he was
wants.
looking at it in a mirror. His name
stupid.
was Olas, right?
No, his name was just Han.
Solo's-
And then the Empire, like, I don't know, front desk person for shuttles leaving the planet was all like,
If you're telling me an actual movie fact, you're fired.
"Oh, this is an actual movie fact, and it's so dumb."
Good thing I don't pay you guys.
He,
No more
he,
pizza for Dean.
he asks Han Solo for a last name, and then Han Solo's like, "I don't got a last name," and then he's all like, "Oh, so Solo." Oh, so
Oh,
you're
he
by
was
yourself."
holding a red cup and drinking a beer out of it. And he looked at the cup and it said Solo. And he said, oh,
Your
man.
name is Han Solo Cup.
He changed it to
And
you
then
know,
he shot
fit
a
in more with
ping pong
America.
ball
It was
out of his
hyphenated.
ass and it bounced once and landed in the cup. And that was history.
Yep.
And he was able to do that within 12 parsecs.
You have to do the butthole beer pong in the Star Wars universe.
Is
Yes,
12
in 12
parsecs
parsecs.
on your list?
No, actually.
It's just like so out of
Left field.
context.
Not
yeah.
really.
You're
we were
saying
talking
out,
about
out of
Han
left
Solo.
field?
Well, I was bringing up Han Solo
Yeah, I'm
because
saying out of left
that's why I went
field.
back into Star Wars. I wanted to talk about Han Solo so I could get back into the Solo Cup thing, so I could talk about beer pong that you shoot the ping pong ball out of
Out of
your
your
butt.
ass.
Is butthole beer pong on your list?
Oh, yeah, great
Man.
point for me.
God dang it.
Went all the way back to Star Wars to get a bluff point.
Very good. Very good. God darn it.
All right.
The construction of the story.
And that's how you play the list game,
I
folks.
know,
Why don't you guys do it
yeah,
now
I
while I go
know.
take a pee-pee?
Ah, I'm too buzzed.
God, Kathy, what a lightweight. You haven't even finished your what? Your
I
second
finished-
beer?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Like halfway done.
Tired.
So about those titanium dildos, I hear that Elon Musk is
Is he?
mass producing them for general market.
Oh, so
He's working the
married.
story. It's going to something.
He's married, right?
Where-
He's
where
married.
is he?
He has
No,
kids.
he's not.
Oh, he's not.
He has kids.
Are
He
they-
was married
Are
twice.
they going to be
but
released?
He's not.
Like, who's going to sell them? Are they going to be like on Amazon or he? And
Well, John
Jeff
Oliver will
Bezos
naturally
gonna-
I
push
told
them
you I've already
on
got
his
one,
own
but I left it
program.
at Kathy's house.
I know, but
Maybe
I wanted to
Kathy
see
still
it.
has it in her.
That was the joke I made about 5 minutes ago.
What about
Stop the
the
sentence that inner. Yeah. What?
what about that cool noir series that Dark Horse did when they took a bunch of random stuff?
Was it
and-
different characters every story?
Yeah, it was different
Yeah,
characters.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there was like it was from Dark Horse, and they had
You
like
mean like cool stories like on Chronosphere Fiction?
Yes,
the
that's
Prayer
right.
Mask, and The Shed, and Monday
know-
through Fridays at the Smith's residence. You really should
Those
check
are-
out these stories on Chronosphere Fiction.
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
are cool stories,
those are
bro.
good.
I really want to give those
But
people
they did,
money.
like-
Except for the parts Kathy did.
they did some really
You
cool
couldn't
stuff.
even guess what parts I did. I was so good.
After way out of a picture.
They had like they had like Archie Noir, which was really intense.
Archie Noir.
Yeah, it was like they did
Archie
they
Noir,
did
oh
Scooby Doo
my God.
Noir too, which was
boy.
really
I wonder,
good.
is that where the newer...
it was surprisingly good.
Is that how Riverdale came to be?
is that how
Yeah.
Riverdale came around? Did
I don't
they
know,
did
maybe,
they do it first
probably.
on that noir thing?
But it was a lot. It was they were serious. Like there was like actual murders and stuff like that, and yeah, and the Scooby Doo one didn't have a good ending.
Oh boy.
It's,
Did you ever see a good Scooby-Doo?
Spoiler
all.
alert!
all Scooby Doos are
know.
good Scooby
I know, they
Doos.
had good. They had good moral
Spoiler
lessons.
alert!
Scooby-Doo
Velma
ruined
was
many a
actually a
child's
closet
mind. It was
thought.
horrible.
I'm sorry. Have you
I like
ever
the one with
watched?
Davy Jones.
Have you ever watched a pup named Scooby Doo? Because that was my shit, man. I loved
I
a
like
pup
the
named
old
Scooby Doo.
Scooby-Doo where Don Knotts was the guest.
Oh my God, that's
yes.
right.
Where's like
I like the movie in which they go into the computers.
Got to do that music together. Everybody know the music.
what?
Remember they're fighting like this.
Oh,
this,
the animated
Cyber
movies.
dude?
I thought you were talking about the live action
No,
movies.
no, those are
Or that
those
one
are
they did with
abortions.
Kiss. Does anyone remember
Oh,
that one?
yeah, that was
yeah.
terrible.
And of course, many.
Oh, do you guys
Globetrotters.
remember the Scooby Doo?
I liked that
Batman
supernatural crossover. That
Yeah.
was really
and it
well
was
done.
it was like it was Adam West's Batman, right? That
I
was
think
it.
so, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I like that. The supernatural one was really good.
It was the Joker
It was-
all along.
It was actually surprisingly good. I was not expecting
Once again, not a
supernatural
comic book.
Scooby Doo.
So did you guys ever like watch the comics or watch the cartoons on Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and like feel like
Not like we did because they're not that old.
Yeah, that's for old people.
We did have
feel bereaved,
Saturday morning
bereft
cartoons
of like
on
like
ABC.
lost, like depressed afterwards.
Oh, jeez.
well, no.
From the land of the lost.
Debbie
Which
Downer.
did have its own comic
Oh,
book.
I like Land of
The
the Lost.
Sleep
Actually,
Stack.
I watched it.
There were certain comics that left me like the Road
There's
Runner. I
two
gotta
versions
say,
of the land of the lost too. Did you see the older ones or the newer ones?
So are you saying like were there
I'm not
comic
sure anymore.
withdrawals later in the
old
day?
ones, the Sleep Stack really.
Actually,
major
There's-
withdrawals.
I do
Like,
remember the Sleep
um,
Stacks looking like that.
Whenever I'd be on Boomerang on the weekends, after Tom and Jerry moved to like something else, I'd be like, man, this sucks. Put on the Cat and the Mouse again.
yeah,
Tom
it was
and
just-
Jerry were
Tom
great.
and Jerry, did you ever see Dickie Moo?
Dickie Mo.
Dickie Moo. It's one of
Anyways,
the
Tom and
oldest,
Jerry.
it's one of the oldest Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Oh.
And they're both on the ship
Is
with
it-
Captain Ahab chasing down Moby Dick. But in the cartoon, Captain Ahab keeps saying Dickie Moo.
That sounds
Dickie
really
Mo.
familiar.
It's old school.
Sounds slightly
man.
suggestive.
The sound effects are
Something-
really trippy in it. and
Something
stuff.
in his should be called.
Well, go ahead, Kathy.
Why would you call him Dickie Mo?
Go ahead, give him a bluff point. See if we
You
care.
can be Moby Dick.
Kathy hears the word dick and she's like, "Oh, I gotta get in there."
More like get on there.
Yeah.
Woo. How about Elf Quest? Anybody ever read Elf Quest?
Elf Quest.
That sounds familiar.
It was big. Richard and Wendy Penny, married couple, started drawing a bunch of pictures years and years and years ago. We're talking like 30 years ago. And an old man, you know, and it was about these elves, and then they were fighting the trolls. And it's really good. It's really good. And there's ones that ride wolves, and they're really cool. And They're a really cute bunch.
What is this thing about? Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can I interrupt you?
You may. I'm done with that.
Okay, it's not going anywhere, Daniel. Can I interrupt you? So
That's all I had to say. ElfQuest was cool.
there's this thing that older men, middle-aged men, are into these ponies, these horses, colorful horses.
Yeah, it's more of a
Daniel.
cartoon.
What is this, like
Bronies?
little
They
ponies?
do have a
My Little
it's My
Pony.
Little Pony.
Yeah.
They call them
Oh,
bronies.
little pony. Okay, so but they're like there's a group of guys who get together.
Hey,
at
they more
Comic-Con.
than like them. They're
Yeah,
They
they are.
fetishize
They
them.
are
Let's move on.
sexually
Oh, really?
attracted
Yeah.
to
It's
ponies.
men that want to do horses from behind.
Yes.
But, I mean,
specifically
is it-
these child-looking horses.
That's right, all you bronies out there. I'm calling you out.
Sam.
Yeah.
Got that Catherine the Great syndrome.
Well, okay, here's a new topic that relates comics that are that older middle-aged men like the whole like
Tales of the
little
Bean
Asian,
World.
What's
the
up?
Asian little girl comics. You
Was-
know,
You mean
little
hentai?
girl
and the little
comics.
pony
Sailor Moon.
and
That
uh,
kind of stuff.
Was Powerpuff
Hentai.
Girls ever a
Hentai.
comic?
Hentai.
I
Hentai.
don't
Do
know.
Do middle-aged
Yeah.
men like Powerpuff Girls in that way?
I mean, I'm sure there are some that do.
Well, the 18 plus version is where they're grown up and they're called the Powerpuff Thoughts.
But it's like but the Powerpuff Girls are similar. These like older men who are like
No,
attracted
you're
to
thinking
these
Sailor
young.
Moon.
Okay,
and,
okay.
it's the only one
I feel like
can
there are
think of right
guys
now.
out there like the villain with the crab claws. Him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Him.
him.
Him was really cool.
Yeah.
God, I like
Powerpuff
him.
Girls had a lot
Xana
of
Love.
cool
He's great for
villains.
memes.
Like
can't do the
what were
voice.
they? The Amoeba
my God.
brothers.
Yeah,
That's
the
very
Amoeba
familiar.
Boys or
Oh,
something
Amoeba
like
Boys,
that.
yeah, and him, Mojo Jojo was also pretty good.
You know, there's a really good one that only you two would probably remember. I remember reading this one comic
Where's Chuck that
on
burger, kid?
on Deviant Art. It was
DeviantArt?
it was the Smurfs versus the Snorks.
Yes.
And they were so
the Snorks were underwater Smurfs. They
Yeah.
had little breathing tubes on the
and
tops of their heads.
and so they were murdering each other. What the hell? And so they would the Smurfs were like blending the Snorks.
That's all right. I had one, and it was I don't remember. Oh, it was called Strawberry Cheesecake, and it was one Smurf, and it was Strawberry Shortcake, and it was like a porn comic.
Oh
And
Jesus!
them doing all kinds of things.
What
together.
about Fritz
It was like
the cat?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Hey
lube
baby,
and
you want
stuff.
to bake with some Smurf berries here?
What
Smurf
about
the Cat was a movie.
Fritz the
Yeah,
cat?
that was a movie.
It's not a
Oh,
comic.
what about Fritz the cat?
That's a movie.
You know, I saw it, but I don't really remember it. That
It's
well.
in Playboy. Fritz
Oh, it
the
was
cat.
a comic book.
Yeah, it was a
or It was
comics.
a comic in
Yeah.
Playboy.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
was it a movie first? I wonder.
Oh,
Was it Playboy
maybe it
first,
was.
or was it a movie first? I
That's
think
right,
it was a
because in
movie
the
first.
70s,
I remember the movie.
yeah. Yep. That could have been. It was nasty.
Fritz the Cat was pretty nasty,
Nasty.
especially for its time.
Oh yeah.
Revolution.
Was there ever an Indiana Jones comic?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
More than one, especially young Indiana Jones.
Like River Phoenix era Indiana
right?
Jones.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Oh man.
And I'm sure there was other ones where he's just regular Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
and it's during the Nazi time.
Like during the temple, or
Yeah, during
when
that.
he's got the Ark of the Covenant kind of thing.
Is Indiana Jones on your list?
He actually kept that thing.
No? Okay.
Oh, yeah, he actually kept that thing.
Just seemed like
He kept in the ark.
Ark, yeah, he kept the
I
Ark.
thought he stored it in a.
He would,
No, I
In a
thought the
place that
I thought
was
the
secure.
government took it. Yeah.
Top men.
They thought
are
they
looking
did, but
after
he
it.
switched the box.
Ooh, when?
Right.
Oh, in the comics.
Oh. In the comics.
No, he,
They just got a crate full
he
of titanium
keeps it
dildos.
in his bathroom, right? He keeps it in his bathroom, and then whenever he gets a girl, and he goes does the one night stand thing or whatever, and she goes to use the restroom in the morning. He says, "Oh, I got lots of nice, shampoo and toiletries and stuff in that little box over there."
And he just
She
murders
opens
every
it up,
chick.
it's like,
He puts on his eye mask and
Goes
just lies
down
in
the
bed.
floor, and it's over. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Noise
That's
canceling
cute.
headphones.
One of my favorite parts of those movies
was what? Was what? Is what?
was during the Last Crusade when they literally they're harassing the guy in the massive tank. I can't call it a Panzer because it doesn't look like a Panzer, but they're out in the desert and he causes he organizes that stampede of all the goats and all the horses and they're just going
Oh God! Is that the one where he's with his father?
Sean
Yeah.
Connery.
yeah, Sean Connery.
Sean
Where he's
Connery.
like, Junior, Junior, I'm sorry I was
I
a bad
just
dad.
blame
Was there a
myself and
Highlander
Grail.
comic?
Your guess
Got
would be
it.
better than mine.
I don't think so.
Scott's Stone.
Actually, there was, and it wasn't about the guy that's in the Highlander movie. Is he in more than one? Yeah, he's in a couple of them. I guess.
The first.
I know he's in the
Highlander,
first
right?
one. He's awesome. And but no, it was about Sean Connery's character.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
in like a
Connery.
couple
God, I had a
hundred years
crush on
earlier.
that guy, man.
Yeah, and what was that character's name? Because it was
Angus.
Mr. Slapnuts.
Angus.
Angus something.
Angus McBeef. William Wallace.
I think it was called Angus O'Toole. Yeah,
Yeah.
Angus the Tool?
And he,
he was actually supposed to be Spanish.
But yeah, I
He's
liked
from
his.
Spain.
But he was actually some
Wellington.
Eastern European guy, right?
Right.
Fork
He
on
had
the
some
left.
Eastern European, but yeah.
you know, it'd be really funny is if there were a comics like they do comics about history and comics about myths.
You know, he was the one who came up with the term "there could be only one." Was
there can be only one.
That's right? Was the Sean Connery guy? But at first, it was "there could be only fun."
There could be only
There
fun.
can be only fun until they realized that they actually did have to chop off each other's heads.
Get out of here,
Everything was fun until then.
you dago bastard.
All right, you dogs. Let's count up some points. We've gone way over the limit, and I got stuff to do at 3:00.
And I gotta go to work.
Oh crap! It's 2:50.
250. Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta get to work. Work.
You don't work, Kathy. Don't be
You
silly.
can keep the Loch Ness
pretending.
monster busy right now. Keep him happy.
I'm gonna work with my
He
titanium.
always wants 250.
I'm gonna
Nessie's a
work with
she,
my
Daniel?
titanium
Oh,
dildo.
sorry about that.
Yeah, you should be.
All right.
It needs to be worked. It's got to be sanded and.
Yeah.
Let's
Polished.
get that windbag out of the way first. Blake, what'd you do? What'd you get?
I was called on Cranial Download.
Don't tell me about. Oh, okay, you
But-
can say that. Go ahead. What did you get?
I got crossbow, scuba diving, taking out the trash, dragon tattoo, rain dance,
Yeah, that was.
aromatherapy, royal wedding, ice cream,
You little
Crap,
butt.
dude.
and I tried to slip Big Bunsen burner. in
Wait,
there,
were
but I
you
didn't
the
get it.
one
I
who
didn't
said,
get
"What
that.
if Green
Didn't
Lantern was an ice cream"?
Yeah.
Why did I think Daniel said that?
All right. Okay, yeah. People out there in listening land, we each had 10 today, so there's going to be some big points here.
No, not
And I
really.
didn't keep track of
it's not
how many
gonna be-
times other folks
Not going to be the usual
called
score.
me. or-
Just to say, I am a little rusty because I haven't been here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is what happens when you're locked in the GIMP box. All right,
lose
Dean, go
some
ahead.
brain
Tell me what
cells.
you got, Dean.
I believe I was called on one. I don't know. But
But just tell me what you got.
I will.
I'll take care of the rest.
Training piranhas, fireflies and glowworms, and Scooby Doo. And let me just say right now, Dark Horse actually never made any noir versions of Archie
No, he made all
or
that stuff up, man.
or
You gotta lie
Scooby-Doo.
on this
I was
game.
almost gonna call you on the
That's
noir,
right.
but
Wouldn't you know?
I'm glad I didn't.
For all you people out there that have written me emails that maybe I haven't answered yet about you complaining about me talking about who was slaves, when and all that, you're supposed to lie in this game.
Also, if you want to read a noir
We're
version
lying
of
about
something,
ourselves as well.
read Noir Spider-Man because that's really good.
All right, Joey, what'd you use, man?
Okay, I got high speed racing, solar sleeping bag, organized stampede,
I'm surprised none of you guys got him on solar sleeping bag.
I didn't
I've
hear
even
it.
used that before.
the Ark of the Covenant,
Ark of the Covenant,
standing in line for bread,
standing in line for bread.
playing the
That made
helmet
sense.
drum set, The Walking Dead,
I didn't hear you use playing the helmet drum set, but I
Wait,
believe
Daniel, weren't you?
Dimension
I
Wait,
remember
wait,
that.
two.
you got The
I remember
Walking
hearing
Dead,
that.
and I was the one who brought it up. You bastard! Still counts. You got it. Okay.
well,
go on, go on.
I led you to say it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
So, Dimensions of the Tunes, baking with Smurf berries.
Oh yeah. All right.
And I was the one who bring up the Looney Tunes. That was good. You just got
Yeah,
lucky
we
on
talked
some
a
of
lot
these.
about the tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it is the luck of the draw. Luck of the draw.
Also,
we
who the
pulled
hell-
from the big bag with all the old stuff in it today, folks? So,
Who the hell listens to the list game and is like, that isn't factually correct?
oh, people have emailed me, dude, trying to correct stuff that we said. It's like, and I have to answer them.
We should get
You
back
know,
to these people. You don't
it's how the
understand
game
the list
works.
game.
Dumbass.
Yes, we
We
lied.
don't tell the truth.
Like
we
when-
don't say things that we actually believe are real, and yeah.
And if we're saying it with gusto, that's on purpose.
We're talking about political stuff. No, this is not the way we actually think. All right, so shut up. All right, Kathy, what'd you do?
I didn't do very well.
Oh, come on. What'd you do?
You did
pretty
pretty
well.
Say that. Say what you did.
I did. Yeah, I know. It's such a freaking.
Just say what you did.
Yeah. What'd I do?
Come on, Kathy, get to it.
You're not talking. Just say it.
Daniel's gotta
Solar
go.
flares and My Little Pony. Wait, did I do solar flares?
Sure you did.
That's it.
Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, that's all I did. I just called.
Boo.
I like.
Oh, you got 3 bluff points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were doing pretty well.
Yeah. I
I
gotta work on
expected
my.
more of you,
I
Kathy.
know. I gotta work on my storytelling, man.
Let's see. I already did you, Dean? Or?
Yeah, we already did.
Oh my god.
I wasn't. I'm kind of tired today.
And of course, I couldn't get that much because I can't call you guys. I should get double points. But... Oh wait. Okay. I got. Let me just count them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I can tell
I
you
got
what I did.
7 of mine, and they are right at the beginning of the game. The Cosmic Comic Speed Limit.
Oh.
I got popping your thought balloon. Wolverine did that with his
I
claws.
totally believed that.
Man, I should have known.
I made that story
I was
up.
almost-
I should have known that
funny.
wasn't a part of the
When
what
I hear
if.
the term popping a thought balloon, I
See,
thought it was
like-
breaking a
I
condom.
think you were like agreeing with him so much that
I was
like,
agreeing with
and
the
then-
what
and then
if
when-
comics.
When we had
Yeah,
Vagina
but-
Man and I made the giant cave that he had to go into that went deep under the mountains, deep under the
Viagra
mountains
Man.
was on my list. When I did Mixoplexix, had to be the guy that was at the Gorge of the Eternal Peril. The Gorge of the Eternal Peril was on my list.
Because you were agreeing with him, so I thought, okay, so he's heard.
When we were doing all the stuff about
I gotta be-
Looney
yeah.
Tunes, Daffy Duck, Robin Hood, I did Sir Yosemite Sam. Got that one.
Sir Yosemite.
and he
Sam.
vouched for him, which made me not want to call
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
I think he actually was a knight, to my recollection.
No, there's a
And-
cartoon
and-
where he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I got Robot Clown.
I
I almost.
thinking
I
about
was like, thinking, come
slap
on.
nuts.
Because someone said
Easy
it was.
one.
There were robots.
Oh, and I missed.
No,
didn't,
I
when
said I don't
didn't
remember
finish. I didn't
Robot
finish.
Clown.
Come on, you guys, let me
Okay.
finish the game here. And when I went back to the Jurassic period and we had the giant bugs that
No.
were kicking it, and
No.
all that,
No,
I
no.
got bugs that eat other bugs.
Oh, come on. Oh, man. Yeah.
And he's still, even with all that, because I couldn't call you guys and stuff, I ended up with a big 10 points.
Woohoo.
Dean had 4, Kathy had 7, and Blake and Joey tied for the win with 12 points.
Wow. Look at you.
We are the champions.
And we told him he had to win today or he was out. So
All right.
I guess he made
And-
the cut.
by the skin of your
tied.
teeth, Joey.
Sorry, Dean. You know what that means.
Back
Back in the
futon.
couch.
Back in the camp tent.
Hey, I'm grandfathered in. You guys can't get
In other
This
words,
has
Dean has
been-
had sex with all of our grandfathers.
This has been another episode of The List Game brought to you by Seiko Vision.